The game starts here and now. This is Game On. Welcome. I am Christophe Bongo, and as usual, I will be with Shane McGregor. We will dissect so many things. For many of you keeping watching us, maybe you don't know why you have to watch Game On. Game On is the only show that gives you the insight, the knowledge of the game that you want to put your money on. So if you stay quiet and you listen to Shane McGregor's conversation with me, you might just have a chance of changing your mind. Remember, your last bet must be done after this game. Well, at the moment, I've got Shane, and I am going for my first bet. Shane, which club, actually 3 clubs, will be the first to change their coach this season in PSL?
In PSL, that's fairly easy, I would think, Chris. You know, you look at it, there's obvious choices. The obvious choice, you got to look at Sean Bartlett, even though it's not his fault. But I don't think they'll change it.
You mean Spurs?
Spurs, yeah.
Spurs is the first team.
The first team, Spurs. I mean, I don't think it'll change because it's just the way they are. You know, they promote the youth. Everyone will think that's the obvious choice. For me, my obvious choice here, and I know you want me to say one club.
No. I've got no idea.
My obvious choice now, after what's happened this week, is Chipper United. Once again, Chipper United. And I'll tell you why I'm saying that. You've got a coach in there that's been taking the team, coaching the team. Now, all of a sudden, they've been appointed a technical director who's going to come in and do some of the training sessions, who's going to sit on the bench. For me, what are you saying here? Are you saying that he's the coach? Or are you saying he's a technical director? A technical director doesn't get involved in coaching, doesn't get involved in sitting on the bench, any decisions like that. So for me, the club is putting pressure on the coach. Why, I'm not too sure, but for me, that's going to be the first one.
If you have last rands in your pocket and you need to place your bet, you will place your bet on Chipper United changing their coach.
Yeah.
The reason is?
Well, they putting the coach under pressure. You know, what I'm saying changing, he might just resign and say, I'm not going to be doing this any longer, so you'll move on. They've put pressure on him by appointing a so-called technical director.
What is the difference? Because, listen, this is about money. So I need to know everything. What's the difference between resigning and being fired for coaching?
Well, fired is when the management come in and say, we no longer want you. There's a difficulty in that, especially local, because then you've got to pay that coach out. You've got to pay him out his fees. You've got to pay him out his contract. And then there's forced resignation, which this looks to me as what's happening at the moment. And
they are forcing the coach to resign.
Basically, because, I mean, if I'm a coach, Chris, and I'm a fiery guy, and you know that, and I'm the coach of a team, and then all of a sudden I get told what to do by a so-called technical director coming in, taking sessions, coming in and sitting on the bench, I don't want to be there. Then for me, I'm not the coach. Then I'm just a puppet, and that would force me to resign. The next one is, there's a certain club that have bought 7, 8, 9 players. They're not performing. They're not doing
No,
well.
I want to bet. You must tell me the club. Which club is?
Kaizer Chiefs.
Kaizer Chiefs. So you believe Kaizer Chiefs is among the basket of teams that will change their coach by January or before January?
Unless things change, unless they turn things around very quickly. And when I say very quickly, I mean in the
win
next...
the MTN 8.
They've got to win the MTN 8. If they don't win the MTN 8, he's under big pressure.
Back in PSL, the Cape Town teams are going through a tough time. I don't know why. 5 games, we're not seeing any win. What is going on with Cape Town's teams at the moment in PSL? They're not looking good. Not at all.
Yeah, they aren't looking good. I feel sorry for Stellenbosch. Let's start in Stellenbosch. I feel sorry for them. If you look at the last few games, they've ended up with 10 players. They've had players sent off. And when things go bad for you, Chris, and when things, it just seems to carry on, and just needs
What
to
is your
snowball.
role as a coach in those red cards?
What can you do, you know?
No, what can you do? You tell your players to be disciplined.
Well, you've got to tell your players to be disciplined, but it does happen. I mean, nowadays you push the guy and you get a yellow card. Now,
So the next Stanley game you can bet. You can say, please go, and place your bet in that market of red cards or discipline that somebody will go there.
Yeah, exactly. With Stellenbosch at the moment, that's been happening. I mean, it's been ridiculous for them. I feel sorry for them. What's happening to the other teams, I'm not 100% sure. We know about Cape Town Spurs. Cape Town Spurs like to promote youngsters into the team. They don't like to bring players in. They don't like to spend money on big-name players. You can only do so much with youngsters. And I listened to an interview with Gavin last night, Gavin Hunt, after their one, and the other night. And he was talking about youngsters can only take you so far when they're obviously going to be a blip. They're going to fall away. And that's what happens. You need the experienced players. And yes, Cape Town Spurs have the experienced players, but past their best. And that's the big problem. So they don't have a good balance there at the moment. Things might change. You get one victory and it changes things. You need their confidence. And they don't have confidence.
You have to talk about Orlando Pirates. Midweek performance against SuperSport. They lost the game. And off air, we're talking about it. You said they played well. Well, you play well and you get 0 out of 3 points. That is bad.
Yeah, you're talking about Sundowns game. Yeah, you know what?
Yes,
I felt sorry for them because in the first half, Sundowns were dominant and Sundowns were their normal self, getting the ball, knocking around, playing well. Second half, Pirates came out and were a different team. I think they deserve something out of that game. I thought that I did. I thought that
deserve. You have to earn it.
You have to earn it. You got to score the goals. That's the problem. They didn't score the goals. They created chances. They played better than Sundowns in the second half. I must admit, I was quite surprised about it. But end of the day, Sundowns are Sundowns. They take their chances. They got a penalty.
They finish it.
They finish it.
6 points midweek. Kaizer Chiefs only collected 1. And as we are looking at now on the table, we can see the table now, they're not sitting in the good position. Midweek, you have a chance of collecting good 6 points, and you only manage to create 1. And that is before you meet the team that's almost demolished you. What is going on for Kaizer Chiefs season? Do you think the season is gone?
Well, the league's gone for them. There's no ways they're going to make up that amount of points, that amount of leeway. I mean, there's no ways that's going to happen. So that's gone. They got to rely on winning trophies, the MTN 8, those type of things. If they don't win the MTN 8, they're in big trouble. They're looking at reinforcing again. They want to bring in another player. For me, it's just too much going on at the moment. I've said it up front, and I'll keep on saying it. I mean, I'm not very popular about this. I don't think the coach is the right coach for that job. It's a big club. You need a big coach.
That's why Kaizer Chiefs, they are part of the teams that might lose their coach before January. We are coming back in the second part of the show where Shane McGregor and myself, we will go on by giving you the insight of why you should bet in certain games.
Bet Koza. In a world where legends are born and dreams take flight, where passion meets opportunity and determination knows no bounds. It's a world of the game within the game that brings the thrill of victory, unforgettable memories, and endless possibilities. Where sport and entertainment collide. The game starts here. Anytime, anywhere, any device. Bet Koza. Bet now.
This is amazing. Mamelodi Sundowns will play against Kaizer Chiefs. Probably they might knock Kaizer Chiefs out of MTN 8. They might. I'm not saying they will. But at the same time, currently, they tied Kaizer Chiefs on the record of unbeaten in the season. 31. Or not the season, a year, I think. Just unbeaten in general. So don't follow my stuff. Just unbeaten, 31. So the last time Mamelodi Sundowns lost a game, wow.
Forever ago.
And then I just learned from Brian that they are 7 match unbeaten in the league. Yeah. And the only team to have done that is Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah. Chiefs went...
So they want everything Kaizer Chiefs had.
Exactly. Chiefs went eight games.
Yeah.
Winning, eh? That's winning consecutive in the start.
They
of the
want
league.
everything Kaizer Chiefs had. That's how much Mamelodi Sundowns, they don't like Kaizer Chiefs. It's amazing. How do you do for your team to go unbeaten for so long? In the change room, what's the conversation in the change room?
Chris, you know what? They're so well drilled at the moment, and they got such quality players that it's just a matter of go out and do what we do every week. Just keep on going. Just keep on keeping the pressure on. Just keep on playing. Chris, you're not
doing it well. I wanted to be in the change room, on the top of the bench, telling your team that they played 30 games unbeaten. They came to the 31st. What are you telling them?
You don't tell them anything about unbeaten 30 games. All you're saying in the change rooms is go out and play our game. Just keep the ball, keep the pressure on. Don't worry about records, they'll come. Just keep on playing the way we are. Just keep on doing what you're doing. Just keep on going forward. That's it. You don't look at records, you don't try and put pressure on, because when you put pressure on players, it changes things. So all you're doing is you're trying to take the pressure off. You say, forget about everything else, just keep on playing the way we're playing.
We will put on the table for you to see when was the last time Kaizer Chiefs did it, and how far is Mamelodi Sundowns at the moment. But once again, in the betting side, you go to a betting game where Mamelodi Sundowns will play. Do you bet against them?
You know, when I've tried this, I tried this last season, and as you know, I came unstuck. You know, with Sundowns at the moment, you can't, because they are playing so well, and because of the quality of the players, and because of the way they gain, you can't bet against them at the moment. Yes, your odds are going to be very restricted, but
that's why they call it betting, isn't it?
That's why it's called betting. You can't bet against them. You know, it's one of those things. I had a look at it yesterday, and I was very tempted to go with a draw in that game, but at the end of the day, you can't. So I just, you know, for me, you can't bet against them at the moment.
We can continue this conversation until the sun comes. What they say, sun comes down.
Yeah.
Until the sun comes down, it will never finish. Let's move on. English Premier League. It's in a situation where teams start rolling up. We start dropping the numbers. Unbeaten teams now, there are only 4.
Yeah.
Other numbers are gone. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, a red elephant, which is Man United. I personally believe you can bet that Onana will concede every single game. Is that a good betting?
Chris, the way it's going at the moment, yes. You know, you can see I got a big smile because I love Man United so much. At the moment, yes. You know, he's conceding goals, but you can't just blame Onana. You got to look at the bigger picture here. You got to look at their defence. You got to look at everything else. At the moment, they are nowhere at the back. Casemiro is not doing his job as a holding midfielder anymore. It's a lot of things going badly for them. So, you know, you can't just blame the goalkeeper. Yes, he has made terrible mistakes. There has been a couple, but it's the whole team effort at the moment that's not going down.
Is it a safe bet for you to go to say, regardless who Man City is playing, they will win the game?
I wouldn't say we'd win it, because, you know, there's been teams that have put them under pressure this season.
Under pressure is not 3 points.
Under pressure is not 3 points. But you got to look at it and say, well, I would be wary to say that they're going to be unbeaten. I'm taking this weekend, for instance, they should win. I mean,
the conversation of this weekend is coming.
Yeah.
You know, what I'm getting from you is, Shane, think of me at home, and I put all my schedule there, the games that we'll be playing. And I am here with my cards, and you call them pundits.
The pundits, yeah.
Yes. I am about to bet, and I'm listening to Shane McGregor. So, what are the elements that I need to know for me to make a right decision?
Well, you've got to look at each and individual game, Chris. This is what I do. So I go study each and every game. I go into it, I have a look at previous history. But you can't just look at previous history, because, like, for instance, teams will have improved this season. Some teams will have gone backwards. Some teams will have got a lot of new players in. So you look at all of that. So for me, what I do is I go in game by game. I look at the current form. I look at previous form. I look at players that are suspended. I look at players that are injured for both teams. and then I make my decision. So it's not just a matter of...
That's the way that...
It's not just a matter of Man City playing Forest, Man City are going to win. You've got to look at everything. You've got to look at the bigger picture. Did they play in Europe during the week? Are they going to play in Europe the following week? Because then you might rest players for Europe the following week. So it's a lot of things, you know. It's not just a matter of thumb-sucking, this is going to happen. You've got to do your studying and you've got to do your groundwork.
Does the weather play a big role in how people make decisions in betting?
Not really anymore, you know. If you look at all the modern fields, underfloor heating, it's superb condition. And even if it rains hectically in the UK, the fields are still playable. I mean, the drainage is brilliant on all of them. So, no, that doesn't really play. Look, when it's raining, it does make a bit of difference. You know, teams don't like it, wind blowing, but no, not really.
When I look at somebody like you, I listen to somebody like you, I believe that each time you bet, you do win. Is that correct?
No, you can't win every time, Chris. You know, things happen. A red card, a team can have an off day. You know, anything can happen. You can have a red card in the first half and then you're defending. Look at Liverpool. I wish they had a red card every week because they seem to play better with 10 players. But anyway, you've got to be very careful with that. You know, you can't win every time. If I was, I would be a millionaire. And unfortunately, I'm not a millionaire.
Well, those are the lessons from Shane McGregor. He played the game. He coached the game, and now he analyzed betting. So you are listening from the right man. We're going to go on the break now, and when we come back, Banele will join Shane McGregor. That way they're going to go deep into certain games for you to have a chance of becoming happier. The game starts here. You better listen to Banele and Shane because we have a lot of goodies for you. Your first deposit, we will match it up to 1,000 rands. Yes, that's why I can say, what a way to start the weekend. Listen carefully.
So last week we looked at win either half and we asked Shane McGregor to give us 4 teams. He gave us Arsenal, Fulham, and Leipzig, and the games came on. Shane, you gave us a winner finally. I mean, it was long overdue. I mean, we've been getting one team out, out. But yeah, congratulations and well done.
Thank you. Yeah, it's good to have got it right, 4 out of 4. But this week is a bit different.
Yeah, this week we will be looking at win both halves. It's similar to win either half, but here we want a team to win both halves. But let's talk about last week, though, before we get into this one. It was a bit nervy, though. I mean, we saw Spurs scoring 2 late goals. How did it feel watching that game and seeing that? It was incredible on my side.
Well, I was wishing and praying that they could get the goals, but at the end of the day, they got it. You know, I trust Spurs when it comes to like that type of thing. And I had a good look at it, and I studied the form, and I studied when they score goals. They seem to do it late. So, yeah, it was a job well done on their behalf.
You know what surprised me the most was Coach Postecoglou. You know, Spurs scored in the 94th and 97th minute, something like that. And he wasn't even celebrating. He was very calm. He's such a calm gentleman.
No, he's very calm. He actually worries me at times. But anyway, yeah, you got to be calm, I suppose. Keeps the players calm, keeps the team calm.
Anyway, let's get straight into it. This week we will be talking about win either half. We wanted to win both halves, rather. We want a team to win the first half, and they must go on and win the second half. So, yeah, that's the logistic. It's as simple as that. And I want us to start with the reigning champions, Manchester City. They're hosting Nottingham Forest. When you look at the Chiefs, you spoke about Sundowns earlier on having a 100% record. And that's Man City as well. 100% record, 15 points in their name. Do you think they'll win both halves against Nottingham Forest?
I do think they will. You know, I had a good look at it. Man City seemed to score a lot of goals in either half, especially early on and then late in the game. So for me, company number against Forest. You know, Forest, they have improved. They haven't done badly this season. But, you know, you're talking about Man City, Champions Elite in the Champions League. They gain well. They just seem to have the ability to get the goals. So I've got to go with them. And In the Premier League, this is the only one I'm going to go with. This gave me grey hairs looking at all these games. And for me, this is the only one. I mean, Arsenal, I was tempted to go with Arsenal, but we know they're late scorers. So that's why I just went with Man City.
With Man City. When you look at Man City, the last time they hosted Nottingham Forest, they won 6-0. Would you be surprised if we see a similar scoreline?
I don't think it'll be as high as that, but I'm expecting a 3-4-0 at least against this Forest team.
When you look at Man City, I mean, since De Bruyne got injured, they haven't scored that much goals. Yes, the table will say they've scored 11 goals from the games they've played. But you look at the 5 came in one game and 3 also came in one game. So they have been a little bit somewhat struggling up front.
Yeah, and it's also to do with Højlund up front. He hasn't been getting the goals, but that's because of De Bruyne. But I think that's going to be changing. He's due goals. Some strikers always like it. They due goals. I think he's due goals now, so I'm not worried about this one.
Yeah, win both halves for Manchester City against Nottingham Forest, says Shane McGregor. Shane, we move on. We're looking at another team that has started well, started like a house on fire. They're second on the Bundesliga, Bayern Munich. They're up against Bochum, a team that hasn't been doing well. I mean, they're winless in the first 4. So, yeah, do you think Bayern Munich can go on and win both halves playing at home against Bochum?
Most definitely. And, they come off a good win midweek. Bayern, they beat Man United. And if you looked at the way they played, I can't see Bochum stopping them. I actually see a few goals in this game, and it's going to be all Bayern. So I didn't even hesitate when I saw when they played. Bochum was struggling, so you got to go with Bayern.
So look at Bayern. I mean, last season when they played Bochum, they scored 10 goals, winning one game 3-0, the other 7-0. So this is the game they've been enjoying recently. Is this the banker of the week?
One of the bankers of the week, that's for sure.
One of the bankers for the week. So, yeah, like Shane mentioned, Bayern Munich played against Man United midweek. They won the first half 2-0. However, second half, they lost it 3-2. You will see the final score reading Bayern won 4-3. But, yeah, as far as this market is concerned, we don't want what happened midweek. They have to win the first half and they have to go on and win the second half. So, yeah, the dynamics are simple, Shane. Also, we're moving on still on the Bundesliga. We're talking about Borussia Mönchengladbach. They haven't started well. They're hosting a team that is flying, RB Leipzig. Leipzig lost the first game. However, they went on and won 4 in a row in all competition, 3 in the league. So, yeah, do you think Leipzig can go to Borussia Park and win?
Yeah, especially when you look at the form and you look at the history there. They've gone well there. So for me, they are the form team at the moment, one of the form teams. And that's what I've got to look at. You've got to look at the form, where they're going. Are they getting goals? They are. So they fit all those balls. So for me, and once again, I mean, to score in both halves is never easy, but I think they will do this to win both halves.
To win both halves. So when you look at the last 3 visits, though, to the Borussia Park, they've lost all 3 of them, conceding 7 goals in the last 3. Is this a chance for them to end that? Yeah,
because if you look at the history now and you look at Borussia at the moment, Mönchengladbach, they're not going well. And that's what's convinced me. They're not going well at all. They're not playing well. So for me, it's obvious that Leipzig are playing well. They're getting the goals. Obvious for me.
Yeah, I mean, if there was ever a time for RB Leipzig to end that winless run at Borussia Park, I think it's now. Borussia Mönchengladbach haven't been doing well. They've been struggling. They've got only 2 points to their name. So we understand why Shane McGregor is going with this. Shane, a team that has been flying, Bayer Leverkusen, top of the table. They're hosting debutants, Heidenheim. I mean, Heidenheim, what a story, fantastic story. 2007, they were formed, and look at them now. Their coach also is the longest-serving coach in Germany. So, yeah, do you think they can go to Leverkusen and cause an upset? They're buzzing at the moment.
No, I can't see them doing that. I told you in the beginning of the season that Leverkusen, the team to watch out for. They gain well, they're playing well, they're well coached. I can't see anything change here. I do think that it's going to be a good ruin for them, Leverkusen. So I think they'll win both halves easily. So obvious for me, Leverkusen.
Leverkusen, both halves, says Shane McGregor. So he says his best bet is Bayern Munich. I'm in agreement with that. Bayern Munich are hosting Bochum. I think the value bet will be Leipzig away to Borussia Mönchengladbach. But if you like anything else, you are more than welcome to scan the QR code and get involved. From myself, Banele Pikwa, and Shane McGregor, CT Salanigal.
Thank you for joining this edition of Game On. Remember to join us and interact with us throughout all our social media and our channel. Like I said before, the game starts now. Until next week, au revoir.